Hi, this is Joseph Brunson, Mountain Warrior Kung Fu Academy here in McMinnville, Oregon. We just gave a seminar on Nunchaku basics, how to build your own Nunchaku and Nunchaku basics here at our school. And I wanted to go through that again real quick. So, making your own Nunchaku. Building your own Nunchaku is really a pretty simple process. You want to measure from your elbow to, I like to go the longer ones, which are to the middle of the palm. You can also measure down. We had everybody measuring to the wrist just so they'd have a little bit shorter Nunchaku to start with so they weren't potentially hitting themselves. Now once you have your stick cut to that length, make it to your body specifications, then you want to drill holes. You're going to go down an inch from the top and drill a hole in. Now the hole size really depends on the size of rope that you're going to be using, and so you can vary that size, but you drill in an inch down, you go another inch and drill down again, and then drill down from the top a hole that's large enough to send the rope through twice. You can see this one here, the rope is coming through twice. Both ends will have the rope through like that. Okay, so once you've got that hole drilled nicely, you want to cut the sides, or I shouldn't say the sides, you want to draw a line from the side of the hole down to the lower hole and on the other side, and then score that with a knife or a chisel and pull that out of there. And once you have that out of there, you want that out of there so that your string of rope can fit down in there fairly comfortably, you know, so it's not up real high and real pronounced, so it's not in the way of your hands. So once you have that, you can see these here are just about perfect. They're just about flush. If I grab that, I'm not going to really feel the rope there at all. It's just real close to being flush with the stick. All right, so once you have that, then you have to cut your rope. I'd take about a 16-inch piece of rope and nylon rope and roll it into there. I don't want to say this. So you take your 16-inch piece of rope, and what I want you to do is I want you to weave it in. You go through the top, down through the side, out the side, down the second hole, out the second hole, and back up through the middle. Okay, does that make sense? Again, you're going down, you bring it out the hole here, go through to the other side, and pull that across here. Then you take the rope up and back up through the middle. And this is what you'll end up with right here. You do that on both sides of your Nunchaku. Okay, when you're done cutting your holes, or drilling a hole I should say, and cutting your notch out, your valley for your rope out here, right there, then what you want to do is sand the inside. You sand the whole thing so it's nice and smooth, but you want to mainly sand the inside of the top hole and around the top rim here. I would sand out these areas also, make them nice and smooth, but sand this area out because when you're using your Nunchaku, you don't want to fray your rope. So eventually it will eventually fray on you, but you really don't want to be fraying it real soon. And if you have a real sharp edge here, have some little burrs along there on the outside or the inside of that hole there, then you're going to fray that rope real fast. You get a broken rope, the Nunchaku are going to fly apart, and that can be very dangerous to spectators or to any of your precious belongings or windows in your home. All right. I went ahead and wound this one through here. Weaved the rope through the Nunchaku here. So now, when you have your Nunchaku, one of the other critical measurements for your chucks is what you want to do with them. What we want to do is we want to do trick chucks. Well, I call them trick chucks. You know, I mean, they're very usable, but they don't have the length or the range. So about a palm width, and look from this angle here, a palm width is what you want to have, so you can twirl that around the back of your hand. So what you should end up with is two pieces coming from each side. You have the one continuous piece here, and the two ends meet each other here in the middle. What we want to do now is take some fishing line, about 20 pound would be fine, and sew those pieces together right there. Okay? Just sew them nice and tight, bunch of times back and forth, tie it off. Once that's done, I've never had a problem with that. Some people super glue that. I did that years ago too, and I think it's overkill. Super glued it and then we taped around it, and that's just a bit overkill. And my wife's telling me that it's toxic also, but I was young and I didn't know any better at the time. All right, good. So I know it's toxic, honey. Thank you very much. All right, so don't super glue it. Just sew it with a fishing line. Okay. So you have that fish together there. Now you don't want a big lump out in the middle here. So let me grab this pair right here. It's done here. And what I'll show you is that the sewn part is down inside there. we've taken it right down in there, and you can see it right there. There's the tip of it right there, and you can see it right there. And what we did is just shove that down in there and weave the rope around until we had just continuous rope here. You see this rope is starting to fray here a little bit from use, and will have to be replaced here very shortly. It's starting to become almost dangerous, so you don't want your rope to fray any more than that. I'm going to use these right now. It'll probably be the last use on them before they get re-roped.
And how old are these?
Oh gosh, you know, these have been sitting around at our home for probably 8 years or longer, but have not been used a whole lot. I just pulled these out of the barn. These are a pair that my son Brandon made, about 7-8 years ago. So these nunchaku are old, but they haven't been used a whole lot. So don't say it's going to take 8 years to fray like that. You know, you may have a fraying like that depending on how much you're using them, based on two things. One, how good a job you did at sanding down that inner edge right there. The outer part of the nunchaku here also very important. And then, of course, how much you use them. If you use them a lot, they're going to go faster.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Bronson.